All right, test. Yep, we got audio, we got video, we got a stream. Let's go ahead and drop down here. I gotta reset my Gambit ranks. And then we're gonna get started right away on the storyline and knock out this week's season of the Deep Story missions. All right. Collect all these goodies. Come on, I wish this would go faster, you know. And then get the exotic Ingram.
Careful with that.
And
I wonder if anyone in House Light knows how to play cards.
get rid of all these. That's a new line of dialogue, I think. I've never heard him say that before. Of course, I don't really tend to stick around here for too long. Okay. I think I normally have the centrifuge equipped. No, Monte Carlo.
Nice to see Ahamkara bones are still all the rage. The kids loved them back in the day, too. Tore open all kinds.
Okay, so then I need to bring item manager up. Here's the Monte Carlo. Here's the glaive I was using. And I think I like this arc machine gun, the Swarm. It's been working out pretty well for me. Maybe I'll bring in the sword also. Okay. Let's work with that. And I think the reason I was using this glaive is it does something that seems to work with arc. Massively increases projectile velocity, increases reload speed. Oh, it's this. Collecting elemental pickups or throwing a strength angle grants a stacking period of increased damage. And I get a lot of elemental pickups.
What do you say we get a gunfight going out in the dark?
Okay. Vamonos then. Open up the quests. Bring the coral to Sloane in the helm. let's see, through here. Whoa. Calm down.
Anathema. Calamity. That which cannot, must not come to pass. A wordless denial. A fleeing God. Betrayal. And escape. The pursuit for the final shape.
Okay, so back to the holo projector.
We're almost there. My link with Asa feels crystal clear. It's a little frightening, but strangely comforting too. A lot changed while I was gone. It feels like the entire universe moved on without me, and now I'm struggling to catch up.
Yeah, that's like suspended
Old
animation.
enemies became new allies. New enemies wield the light against us. And old allies. Friends. Like Amanda. Sometimes I wonder, if I returned to the tower, would it even be my home anymore? Or would I just be a phantom? A forgotten memory wandering its streets at night. Xivu Arath's voice keeps telling me I don't belong there. That the battlefield is my home. That it always has been. Maybe she's right. Maybe reliving what I went through over and over again is a way for me to stay in familiar territory. To remain in the hell that I know. And avoid the one I dread. Either way, the mission comes first. I have to see it through to the end, regardless of where I end up when it's done.
That's kind of like a snapshot of life, you know? I think that a lot of people end up having points in their life where they sort of feel like this. If they come back to a place that they spent not a significant amount of time, but significant parts of their life in, and they come back later and everything feels different and it feels kind of haunted. Well, that's because you're growing up, you know, and you've gone through stuff and things have happened around you and to you. And that's kind of part of being, I guess, a part of the war in life is if you try to have a positive impact and you try to affect change and stuff like that, then you're going to go through some difficulties. And it's kind of natural for you to kind of daydream back to a better time, so to speak. But really what you're daydreaming back to is a time of ignorance. You know, they have a phrase, ignorance is bliss. And so if you're ever in one of those situations where you feel kind of haunted and you're like, man, do I even belong here anymore? Yeah, you belong here. It's just that the world is a dirty place and you've gotten some of it on you. That's why, you know, I mean, as a Christian, it talks about the washing of the word. That's what that's all about. It's what do you call it? There's a word for it, but it's like a flushing of this. It's like what water fountains do. There's water constantly running through those things and it flushes them. Or if you flush brakes, if you have to change the brakes on a car and you flush the lines, stuff like that. Sloane's opens Sloane opens up to you about all she's been struggling with since Titan's return. Much has happened while she's been gone, leaving her feeling like it's impossible to catch up to it all. Yeah, see, this used to happen to me whenever I would go to the desert with the military, because there ain't nothing going on in the desert except for doing your job, eating, and going to sleep. So it doesn't feel like life is happening, but actually time is passing. So whenever you come back, everybody else's life went on, and it becomes readily apparent to you. Like, it's always kind of a jarring, I wouldn't call it shocking, but it's a little bit jarring realization whenever you get back and you just start picking up little hints that there's conversations happening where you don't know the details, and you're having to do this, you're having to catch up, and things of that nature. And that's where it really hits you that you spent a part of your life in a place where you don't really get to live your life, So I think other people experience things similar. That's what she's talking about here. If I return to the tower, she asks, would it even be my home anymore? She relates how Xivu Arath's voice has been echoing in her head, telling her that the only place she belongs is on the battlefield. Sloane has to wonder if she might be right. Yeah, I think you can see some of these motifs play out in a movie called The Hurt Locker. Golly, the director of The Hurt Locker. I just found out who it is. Her name's Catherine Bigelow. She's actually a painter by trade. She's like a pro level painter, and a really good photographer. And she went from there to film school, and because somebody saw her, she caught their eye and put a bug in her ear, I think, about going to film school. So she learned how to direct movies, and she made Point Break and The Hurt Locker and a bunch of other movies that, to be quite honest, I would have expected that a dude made those movies. When the storyline is there, it comes from a perspective that I would have expected. Oh yeah, this is a guy. Because this guy knows what's up. He understands what's going on here. I was really stunned to see that a girl wrote it. And so Catherine I went and looked her up. She's got a whole bunch of movies that she's done that I know of, that I've seen and stuff like that. I was really impressed. She relates how Xivu Arath's voice has been echoing in her head, telling her that the only place she belongs is on the battlefield. Sloane has to wonder if she might be right. Either way, the deputy commander is fully committed to seeing the mission through, regardless of where she ends up when it's done. All right.
I see you. You see me too? Ha, good. Then it is all working. You, me, this projector. Even if we sometimes falter.
Come on, crazy Russian.
Building in Sloane's eyes. One that Xivu Arath will exploit, as she did with Osiris. Savathun wore his face, but it was Xivu Arath who took his light. Her whips drove him into a frenzy, lured him into danger, forced Sagira sacrifice, and left him to die. Now she twists my thoughts into thorns, draws out the faces of the suffering Elixni into my dreams. She whispers that I took pleasure in their pain. I see their eyes as they died by my hands, and they see me. She does not lie. She challenges what you hold as a strength. Osiris' ambition, my protection, Sloane's duty. I have felt how the right word, the right faith can incite one to violence. But I have changed. What she has taken, it will not break me. Sloane is no warrior of glass, but the war within her. Even stone crumbles under enough strife. Stay with her, Guardian, as I should have with Osiris. We must offer her what support we are able, even if she does not want it.
All right. Saint is pleased with the mission's progress, but remains concerned over Sloane's well-being. He recounts how Xivu Arath goaded Osiris into a battle he couldn't win, and how Sagira was slain as a result. Even Saint himself is not immune to the war god's barbs. I have felt how the right word, the right face can incite one to violence, he says with a heavy heart. He urges you to stay beside Sloane and offer her the support she needs. All right. The screen illuminates, revealing an encoded message that unscrambles itself as the projector recognizes your credentials. It reads, "This on? Start recording." Oh, it is. Okay. Hey, hero. Oh, yeah, it's the Drifter. Hey, hero. Hey, hero. You dredged up some mighty fine scrap for me. Pyramid tech that all those rot bags could get their hands on, and I hammered that black gold into shape. Now my rig's running smoother than liquid methane. Sloane and the Long Girl, their special link is pretty strong, thanks to you and me, but it's missing something to bridge the gap between the big old worm and our little old lady, Thunderguns, respectfully. Seeing as how you're always in the mood to do favors, how about one more? I need something. Under the table. We need a little something out of both worlds, you dig? One of those traitor ghosts. The bad ones. The hive ones. Oh, yeah. Like Finch. Scrap 'em and bring 'em the fragments. Bring me the fragments. Savvy's throne world is chock full of 'em, but I've got one in mind. Details will hit you soon. Okay. Oh, wow. I got 44 of these racked up. Now, that's from all the gambits that I ran in the past couple days. I use Destiny 2 as like a time sync, something that I do while I'm listening to podcasts and news and stuff like that. It's like a great combination because I'm not really having to focus all that hard on Destiny. All right, so tab open. Go to destinations. Is it not highlighted? Defeat Hathrak the Glazweird in the Extraction Lost sector in Savathun's throne world. Extraction Lost sector, where is that going to be at? Metamorphosis, Fluorescent Canal. I only see 2 lost sectors. What does this say? Oh, into the depths. Okay, so it's highlighted. Here we go. Let's do this. Oh my gosh, that's right. So I really like this little ship, right? But then given what recently happened with Ocean Gate and all, it's eerie, you know, because this looks exactly like a submersible. And those 2 things happen like days apart. Maybe even just a day. I got this thing, and then I think the next day is when they were talking about that whole thing. And last night you had the countdown timers going and all that. Man, it was pretty crazy. I guess people are upset that there was so much media coverage on that and not on a ship full of migrants that that also had trouble. You know, I don't know. I think the ship with migrants thing had kind of already happened, and it's also kind of keeps happening. And there's also a whole there are different sides on the narratives there, but I mean, I don't know. Well, no, I don't even want to get into that because I was gonna say there's some aspects about choice involved there, but there were aspects with choice involved in the submersible that imploded. I think it's just the news carries what's going on at the time. And that thing with the migrants had happened a while ago. Comparatively speaking, you know, whereas the whole Titanic submersible thing was ongoing right then and there, and there was an operation underway. Where am I going? So anyway, there were a bunch of people. I don't know. You could see there's a certain group of people out there that just really, truly, they hate rich people. They hate them. I think they're jealous. And those a lot of those they're overlapping circles. They're also the same people that are like, well, what about these poor people that were drowning? You know, I don't know. You're pretty calloused, dude. I think you lost all credibility when you started memeing about rich people dying. I don't really trust you on anything else. I think you have ulterior agendas. But you know, there's a lost sector here that I got to get into. But yeah, I learned about that whenever there was a place I lived in Florida. It was such an enigma. It was like what would you call that? It was kind of I don't know, an oxymoron or something. I lived in this suburb of Orlando called Altamont Springs. And Altamont Springs, at least at the time I was there, was a community for lawyers and doctors. So a lot of wealth. And I've mentioned this before on streams because it's an example that I use. I don't remember how to get into this lost sector, guys. Oh no. So let me find the entrance to this lost sector first, and then I'll finish that story.
If the Scorn gain
I
control of
did
the
the same
Throne
thing.
World, then the Witness wins this battle. Stand your ground.
Okay. Oh, I think it's one of those reveal things. Yeah, like what that guy just did. There it is.
Wait.
Yeah, there we go.
This looks like a cavern, but it's not. It's one of the Hive's organic buildings. Any idea what we're looking at, Finch?
No, but the Hive don't dress things up for fun. If they disguise this, whatever it is, it's because they feel like there's something worth hiding.
Then we'll get to the bottom of it.
What do I have for a special weapon? Oh yeah, this. Okay, I think that's all of them. So, Altamont Springs, wealthy community, right? Doctors, lawyers. But I lived one street over from a place called Oak Hills. Now, Oak Hills was the quote-unquote black neighborhood in Altamont Springs. And there was a lot of drugs and stuff like cocaine in Oak Hills. And in my street, being one street over, we were what you would, I guess, call a mixed neighborhood. And this is how it worked in Florida. It's not like this everywhere in America, but in Florida, there were like these, I don't know, it's just how society works, where people have spent generations growing up and stuff like that. But anyway, you know, the police dogs that would walk down this street were bigger than I was. Huge German Shepherd, I guess, breeds. They weren't shepherds. They were bigger than shepherds. Where's the thing at? I think it starts with an M. They're from Austria. The Air Force uses them also. They're really big. Anyway, that's my memory of it. Oh, you know what? I probably need to find one of the reveal things. And so I went to middle school as a poor person with a bunch of rich people. And right across the street, the way that these schools were made, right across the street was the high school. And some of those kids could drive. And you could see the parking lot from my school. And in that parking lot were BMWs and Porsches. So that's what these kids were getting as birthday gifts. That's a radically different reality from what I had, right? So you see this, you grow up with it right in front of your face. You have one standard of living, and all the people that you're surrounded by have another standard, and that can breed some. For me, it didn't really breed animosity too much. Although I did have some animosity towards rich people, but I honestly can't remember why. I think I just didn't trust them. But I showed up that way too in Florida as a kid, right? I'm a little kid. I'm in middle school, right? And here we go. Took me a long time to find that little sucker. So I already had preconceptions and experiences with rich people that made me feel like, even just using the term rich people instead of human, right? You're drawing a distinction. You're putting them into a different class. And it's not a good one. And so, whatever it was that had happened in my life to cause me to feel this way, I saw them as being, I felt like kind of like, I don't know if I can trust you. Everything was sketchy. I was always looking for the angle. But as I went to school with these kids, I started finding out that what was going on is that I was just actually, I don't know if I would say intimidated, but I felt lesser than. You know, they had these, back in that time, you didn't have $300 shoes like you do now, but they had expensive shoes, Nikes. A lot of them were wearing Vision streetwear, which was real big at the time. I'm in Florida, skate and surf is a big deal, you know. And I'm wearing $10 knockoffs from Walmart. And so I had some confidence issues and some, what do you call it, inferiority. I don't think I had an inferiority complex yet, but it was sort of, I had the groundwork laid for one, you know. But since I'm living with and attending school with these people, and we're on the same sports teams, and we're working with each other on homework, you know, and classes, and I'm good at this and you're good at that, and we're helping each other, the way that school goes, you know, people start to work with each other no matter what age you are. It's just that's how humans are, right? Then I started realizing that they're just people. They're kids just like me. They got concerns, they got worries. Not everything at home is good for them. You know, they got their own kinds of pressures. That's one of the things I feel like poor people don't get. They don't understand it, or they just want to dismiss it. There are familial pressures and like legacy pressures and stuff that rich people go through. The kids, you can feel it. Mommy and daddy may never tell you, hey, the whole future's riding on your shoulders and you're expected to go into this business or this profession or be able to carry on the family name in this way or that way, or you're expected to be at this dinner function, that dinner function, you better present well because the image is important. You know, this is not just a dinner party we're having. This is business deals being made, and you're part of it. So shape up or ship out. That, you know, a lot of people who grew up poor, they don't have any idea about the kinds of latent pressures that there are with families that have legacies to pass on. That'll rob somebody of their childhood to a certain degree. And I don't even really like that word. It's because you shouldn't feel entitled to anything. I mean, even kids got responsibilities, right? That's part of growing up. And so all I'm pointing out is that the process of child development, growth, and maturation is different for wealthy people a lot of times than it is for people who are not wealthy. And people who are not wealthy view these people as being privileged and having everything in their lap. And it's simply not true. It's just different. Everybody's got to deal with crap, you know? And so the whole thing with this submersible, there's a pattern here I have to unlock. And seeing the people who were memeing it, and then simultaneously they're questioning how come all of the world's news media is paying attention to these wealthy people while nobody's paying attention to this boat full of migrants. Well, I mean, I think you've gone so deep into this dichotomy of rich versus poor, which is a false dichotomy, that you've lost a bit of your humanity, man. I think you've gone too deep into it. I think you're warped, and you're not the voices we should be listening to. You're not the good guys that you think you are. You're actual kind of trash bag human beings. That's what I think. The more I see it, you know, and I've got, like, there's some specific groups out there. I don't really want to, whenever I say trash bag human being, I don't want to apply this to the entirety of a group. How do I put this? Actually, yeah, maybe I would. Is it back here? Maybe I need to sit here first. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, here comes company. It's more like if you go to their boards and you see how these people talk, you can see it. There just seems to be a common thread. And so a group that I can think of that's kind of like that is Antifa. Antifa thinks that they're good, noble, virtuous, and they're willing to put everything on the line. No, you're not. You're a bunch of thugs, man. And you don't know what's up. Three-quarters, I bet you no less than three-quarters of Antifa could adequately describe to you what fascism is and how it works, or what happened during the Third Reich. They don't know. These are dumb people, man. Dumb people with an axe to grind with society that are upset that things didn't work out for them, and they want to blame mommy and daddy and society and people who have more than them, and say that that they're evil and that they're going to go after them. Well, that's exactly what the brown shirts thought. What's the difference between you and them? Because I don't see it, and I've done a lot of study on the Third Reich and things like that, and how all that worked. And I'm saying, like, you look awful familiar. So, you know, anyway, didn't really mean to drag us into a conversation like that, but that's what was going on yesterday, and I thought it was unfortunate. Now, here's an aspect where I might be wrong. You know, sometimes it's hard to self-assess. I'm admitting up front, maybe I'm wrong in this. But I don't see it being a parallel to what I just got done talking about. I think it's different. But what I was doing was I was hearing stuff about the CEO's hiring practices and kind of this idealistic desire to go with a certain demographic setup for how they hired people to put their stuff together in that company. And I was saying, you know, I mean, that's kind of dumb. Whenever you decide to put superficial traits like gender and skin color above qualification, then you're living in a fairy tale land. You're gonna actually, that's what you, I mean, that's a bad move, and kind of these are the consequences that unfold from that. Now, I don't know all of the details with that, and it could be that that's not what happened, but there was reports. And everybody was saying that this thing wasn't seaworthy. It wasn't remotely close to seaworthy. You know, so the angle that I'm coming from is, I'll bring up two examples. Here we go. One example is, let's see, it sounds like I missed somebody. Bud Light hired a CEO out of Harvard. I'm sure she's very smart. She's qualified. She had a certain perspective. She was hired to, the brand was, I guess they were worried the brand was shrinking maybe. And so they hired her, supposedly, from what I understand, to fix that. So her solution was to expand into a more, what are the buzzwords they use? Diverse and inclusive group. But there's a mentality that comes with people that use these kinds of words. And it kind of ends up being what I consider to be an oxymoron. They say they're looking for more diversity and inclusion, but what they do is they actually hate on others. So they're actually not looking to expand the roster. They're looking to change the roster, right? In this case, their customers. And so while they are opening the door to other customers, they are slamming it in the face of existing customers. See how that's not very diverse and inclusive, quote unquote. Right? And these people get this from college. It's this whole mentality. Did I accomplish this mission? Oh, yeah, I did. Where is the thing? Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh, yeah. Not gonna make that jump.
The Score know your location and bring their bombs to your doorstep. Why not turn the tables on them instead?
Yeah, we just need to fast travel out of here. And so because of that mentality that she holds, where it's I guess hyper inviting to a specific mindset and hyper aggressive towards another. So that's not actually accomplishing the goal that they set out for her. And they made the mistake of hiring somebody who thinks this way, and it destroyed them. It completely destroyed them. They're still suffering from that, from what I understand. And another example of what I'm talking about is in Florida, there was what is now known as the Feminist Bridge. there was a company, it's owned by dudes, but they wanted to be quote unquote progressive, right? Okay. If I look at the ideas of progressive, it looks good, right? It looks good on paper. But what you see in practice is not progressive a lot of the time. It really isn't, and it actually hurts quite a bit. You'd have to do your own research on that to get to... Like, I've gone back to the beginnings of progressivism and looked at what the academics were talking about, and man, that shit it don't work. But the other example then is it's a group of guys owned this business, and they wanted to be progressive.
Our minds are one, linked by the darkness. But only for a moment. I must borrow Sloane's voice to speak my words.
Okay.
Please, heed them well.
Ah, cutscene.
Before you can confront the witness, you must understand it. The witness's first victims were once like you. Struggling for survival, bolstered by hope, until their hopes became reality. They called it the Gardener, their deity of life. It ushered them into a golden age. For eons they prospered, but their newfound God never spoke to them. It lavished them with gifts, but not with guidance. And though they lived in paradise, they came to crave a greater purpose. They desired meaning, structure, a winnower, to shape the garden. Their scholars discovered that the Gardener shared a connection with another entity among the stars. They called it the Veil. And when they found it, they arrived to claim it. They already knew much about the light, how it could bend the laws of the universe and create life. But they came to realize that it could bring ruin just as easily. The cosmic events it set in motion could wipe out entire civilizations in a heartbeat. Without reason. And so they saw the light, not as a source of prosperity, but of unfettered chaos. By studying the Veil, they came to know the darkness. A power that was shaped by thought and consciousness. And in the darkness, they found the means to carve away the chaos of existence, to calcify it into a final shape. Eternal and perfected. They brought the Veil back to the Gardener in an attempt to strengthen their connection. There, they could reshape reality itself. The Gardener would not allow it. And so it fled their world. But they would not be deterred. Having witnessed the truth in the darkness, they used its binding power to merge themselves into the salvation they craved. Thus began the Witness's pursuit. Its campaign to impose meaning on a meaningless universe. One that is nearly at its end.
Well, that's interesting. We'll have to see how that develops in the future. Return to Sloane. There we go. New step. Speak with Sloane via the holo projector. I'll finish that story here in a minute.
Well, now we've heard what Asa had to tell us. We know our enemy better than ever. To think that it all started with the need for purpose. How that need became an obsession. What bothers me most is how much I understand it. This mission, it's my purpose, my reason for being, my guiding light. Without it, I'm lost. I don't know who I am or what I'm supposed to do. And that lack of direction, it's harder to face than 1,000 battles. I felt the same about my previous mission when I held the line on Titan. And if I'm being honest, it feels like I failed. I survived, but for what reason? What was it all meant to achieve? The only answer I've found is to learn what Asa knows. If I can do that, it will all have been worth it. Our link ended before Asa could explain how to get through the portal. The bond took its toll. But we'll both be ready again soon. When that time has come and gone, then I can feel like I accomplished the mission.
Okay, Sloane seems to carry the full weight of Asa's revelations on her shoulders, likening the witness's obsession with finding purpose to her own internal struggles. She reflects on her own search for purpose and how it's led her to cling to the mission at hand. Dry voice. Hold on, guys. All right, sorry about that. Without it, she painfully admits to you, I'm lost. Sloane questions why she has endured all that she has, and the only answer she can come up with is to see her current mission through. If I can do that, it will all have been worth it. See, that's a problem. Because what's going on here is that people do need a purpose. I don't know what this game's trying to imply. If it's trying to imply that the idea of having a purpose is what would they call that? A mental construct. I think they're wrong. I think that is an integral part of humanity. And that if you don't have a purpose, the results are obvious. And everybody's been through it. You feel listless and restless. And it's like some of the words that they use. You don't have an anchor. You don't know who you are or what you're about. You know, some of life's questions revolve around this. Who are we and why are we here? That kind of a thing, right? But the trick is in tying your purpose, and I think somebody would say, or some people would say the word identity, into the correct thing. Because if your identity revolves around something that's temporal, that's going to be a problem. And that's almost unavoidable. You know, like whenever I got out of the military, I didn't expect this. Man, I'd always heard that whenever you get out of the military, whenever you've been in it for a really long time, it's kind of like there are parallels to people who've been in prison for a really long time. You become institutionalized. And whenever you get out, you kind of don't know who you are or what you're about anymore, and there's some things that you have to go through. Well, I knew all that already, and I was ready to get out, but I still had to go through that. So what you do in life, especially here in America, a lot of your identity will end up revolving around that. So then when all of a sudden you're not that anymore, you run into a bit, maybe like a mini crisis as you have to redefine yourself. But that's because what you tied your identity to was temporal, and it's gone now. So I think that's some of the problems that are being listed here. Not having an anchor. I mean, you got to put your identity in the right places. If your identity is based on superficial things, you know, if your entire identity is based on what color your skin is, that's going to be a problem for you. It's not going to work out. And now, what's going to happen is when people have, well, you're going to run into some issues where discussions become highly volatile and offensive for you that really shouldn't be that charged up. I think that'll be one of the ramifications. Same thing with gender and sexuality. If your whole identity, or a good enormous chunk of it, is wrapped up in what your sexual orientation is, holy smokes. Now when people express a disagreement with you on that, or maybe they say you weren't born that way, you made a choice and I don't agree with it, right? Maybe they say something like that. But they're also saying, so that's that. In that area of your life, I disagree with you, but we could work together on everything else. For you, you can't. Because your entire identity is wrapped up in your sexuality. Then now, because they reject that, they reject you as a human being. You have narrowed your own humanity down to one aspect. And that one aspect, if it's not fully accepted, now feels like a complete rejection of you as a human being. And it's wrong. It's not their fault. It's yours. Because they're willing to work with you. But you just can't get there because of what I just said. Everything's wrapped up into that one aspect, right? So those are some of the dangers. This happens to I'm just picking examples here to illustrate it. There we go. So this, I like how this game touches on stuff that happens like in real life. I don't always agree with their takes, or I'm unsure of what their implications might be. They do a real good job of, in my opinion, of being ambiguous in that department and kind of leaving it open to interpretation. But yeah, it makes things interesting. Okay, Feminist Bridge. So these guys own the construction company, and they decide, I guess I would use the term like they want to change the world, right? They decide the old way of doing things have gone on for long enough. Let's spend our resources and money on doing things a new and different way. And it can serve as an example to prove some presuppositions out there wrong. I don't know that they said this. I'm just looking at what their motivations are, and I think this would be their thinking. To prove some presuppositions wrong, to create some new shining examples that give other people hope. And so what they did is they went out and hired an all-female engineer team to build this bridge. And it's kind of been scrubbed from the internet now, but if you use something like the Wayback Machine, you can find tweets and stuff that these female engineers were, who can blame them? This is what they were hired for. They felt very honored. They felt excited about this moment. They thought they were breaking through the glass ceiling and they're going to set a new positive example for their daughters. I mean, these tweets are out there. This is how they're talking, right? And it was a big deal. They really felt like they were setting history. Like, and this is how people who are progressives, this is how they think. They're like, we're moving forward. We're moving past long-standing societal ills and stuff. And I get it. You know, I get it. I understand that. I understand how people would feel excited about that. It's it's not what questioning your values. It's questioning whether your premise is correct. And so so that's what they're all excited about. So their idea is that the world is a hateful and racist and bigoted place. You know, okay. It is a fallen world. There's a lot of bad things going on. And they go to build this bridge, and the thing collapses after they put it together. And and there's sort of like almost this the media helped with this, I think. There's sort of this like damage control over narrative and stuff like that, because the counter argument is, holy smokes, you took a perception that everybody out there hates you because of your gender, or nobody will hire female engineers because nobody believes that they can get the job done. So you guys went and took a stand and said, that's not true, and we'll show you. And you hired people based on their gender rather than their qualifications. What if you had simply put a team together full of the best qualified people you could find at the cost that you were looking for? You know, because that is a reality of business. You have to deal with both of those aspects. And you had a quote-unquote diverse, let's use that word, a diverse team that had, 3 men and 2 women. And amongst these 5 people, there were a couple different religious beliefs. Let's say 3. There was an atheist. There was I can't remember what a Hindu, and there was a Christian. Out of the 5, right? And you had a Hispanic person, and you had a couple white people. Let's just say a few white people, because the population percentage is that way, so the odds would lean towards that, right? And you had a black person, and none of that happened because you went out with the express goal of, well, we need at least 1 token black person, right? All of that happened because that's just the nature of this country here. This country is a whole bunch of different kinds of people. That's the entire premise. And so that's just kind of how it shook out, you know. Well, now you have a qualified team, and they put together a bridge, but instead you prioritized the gender. You prioritize that over, you nullify. You wouldn't even look at the other candidates. Didn't matter what color or orientation they were, or anything like that. If they weren't female, they weren't for this team, because that wasn't your goal. Well, from what I hear, that's a little bit of what was going on with the CEO. And bad things happen. This is what I mean by, like, if you're an idealist and you allow your idealism to overcome serious, I guess, science-based issues, then you're not doing anybody any good. And you're an anchor to society, and bad things are going to happen from your ideas if you're able to get them across, you know. So those were the 2 examples that I could think of for what's going on with this submersible. But again, I mean, there's very little information out there, so that might not even be what really happened with this guy. I don't really know. But I know with the feminist bridge thing, if you look it up and you want to fact check it, you go to Snopes, and Snopes will tell you, no, this is pants on fire false. But you wouldn't know this unless you really looked at it hard with a critical eye. But what they're doing is they are flipping the premise. They're doing a straw man argument. So the accusation was, you guys went and hired 5 engineers. I don't know what the number was. Let's just say 5. 5 engineers, not based on their qualifications to successfully build a bridge, but based on their gender. And the Snopes article pretends like the accusation is this company was owned by all women. That's not the accusation. So Snopes is treating it like the accusation says this company was owned by all women, and then checks it as Pants on Fire false. It was owned by 5 dudes, right? So I don't know whether they're responding to
Guardian.
other rumors that began, because this thing kind of went viral initially before the damage control kicked in. They could be doing that, or they could be outright lying. You know, so anyway, we'll see. I'm sure more information is going to come out, but I thought it was really sad that there were people out there just callously being like, who cares about the plight of a bunch of millionaires? We got this whole this whole boat of migrants over here. Yeah, but the migrant thing had happened days before, and Greece told them we're flooded over here. I don't know if you understand this, but a few years ago, just a few years ago, I'm not sure what the circumstances are now, but just a few years ago, there were Greek students at school. We're talking middle school level, 10, 11, 12 years old, that were laying their heads down on their desks, falling asleep, and never waking up again. They died. You know what they died of? Starvation. The country's massively overpopulated because it's one of those bridges from the Middle East to Europe. And there's been an operation going on for well over a decade to move all these migrant populations into Europe. Now, there's a whole bunch of theories out there as to why. I'm not really getting into that. But what I am telling you is that the Farging Assyrians used to do the same thing. This is a really, really old tactic. This is not new. And so there's stuff going on, you know, and Greece said, we're done. We're past our point. It's like really Greece as a country is sort of like that boat's a metaphor for them. We're capsizing. It's too many people. You can't keep doing this to us. So there's all kinds of things going on there with that whole situation. So for people to go out there and just callously be memeing about a bunch of millionaires being stupid enough to get on a ship that's unseaworthy, meanwhile the whole world's ignoring what's happening with these migrants. No, it's just that they're two different stories. So anyway, there it is. Let's that took me a long time to get through because I was playing the game at the same time. But let's go to the tower. I want to show you something that I just recently got into. I'm really, really bad at it, so you'll have to kind of cut me some slack. But I told you guys before, I want to get a title for this season. Okay, well, what do I need to do in order to get that title? I have to accomplish all these things. There we go. And this is the one I'm working on right now. Score points in Rift. Bonus progress is awarded for igniting the Rift. I need 50 points. I've got 5. I had to actually research what this was. I was like, Rift, what the heck is that? Because I never PvP. Never. Until recently. And boy, am I bad at it. So we're going to talk to Shaxx.
One of our brightest returns.
I got some Crucible Ingram. Out of Bounds and Stars and Shadow.
Careful with that. This was made for you.
Okay.
All battles are just a lesson, Guardian.
Don't need this. What are you? Pulse Monitor, Eye of the Storm. It's solar, it's a pulse rifle. 340 RPM. One quiet. What's Eye of the Storm?
I have an entire crucible to
This weapon becomes more accurate and boosts handling as your health gets lower. I could see that. Automatically reloads magazine and improves weapon handling when wounded. Oh yeah, this stuff is going to be based around all that kind of stuff. Increase reload speed when out of combat with a
What's
stability.
going on out there? Talk to me, Guardian.
Alright. Now that I know what you are, I can get rid of you. There's an arc submachine
Crucible gets
gun
harsher every day. It has to. I
with
make sure.
stability. This weapon has increased reload speed and stability for the top half of the mag. Aiming, okay, better body shot damage. And demolitionist. 900 RPM. I don't know if I want to get rid of this. Let's try it out, actually. Stability. I don't need stability as a mouse and keyboard player. Let's go nature spec. 38 rounds. Up to 41. Aim assistance. That might be better. I'm gonna try that. Okay. So, yeah, I had to find out how to even get into these modes, because I don't know nothing about any of this. Crimson says keep it. Alright. We will do that then. Okay, here's all the new quests. And click on Crucible. And here's the one that I need. So I need 3 matches to get the Ingram checked off. But boy, these points come slow. These points come really slow. Alrighty then. 15 impact. Okay, that's normal for 900 RPM. Range is only 37. So it'll be close range. Which one of those options did I want? Grants increased reload speed when out of combat. Probably should stick with that. I don't know. I'd rather have it in combat. I don't mind taking a little bit longer out of combat. Oh yeah, we got options here too. I always like to increase the range. So I'll take armor piercing over appended mag. And I'll keep the range. I don't know, handling might be really good to have. Let's go handling, because I'm going to use this as a close range. If I'm going to do that. Then I should keep the magazine size. Wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. Oh man, I'm gonna get wrecked. You can see I'm a Guardian rank 3. Supposedly there's a... I really don't think this is going to happen, but I guess like Mark Zuckerberg takes MMA lessons to kind of stay in shape. And there is a like charity event being put into place for a cage fight between Elon Musk of Tesla and Mark Zuckerberg of Meta. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but they're talking like it's real. Like these two are talking with each other on Twitter and they're setting things up, you know, so I don't know. That might be interesting.
Rift.
244,000 points, 1,468 kills. Saw his weapon of choice. I couldn't identify it, but I like that about Crucible. It shows you who the top tier guy is in the group, I guess, and kind of shows off their stats. That's neat.
Fight for the spark. Take it into the rift.
Well, I don't know how much good Monte Carlo's gonna be.
Charging.
Oh, I thought that was a baddie. Oh shoot! Don't stay.
Ready. Take it.
I kind of stopped. I paused in the open and then realized what I was doing. I was like, no. All right, we're up.
Your runner moving in. Your team ignited the rift. Your team has
All
ignited
three.
the enemy
All right.
rift.
Oh. Oh, okay, we ignited the rift. Oh, I'm definitely being carried. I don't know if I even got a kill there. That was fast, though. That was a lot of red circles.
Charging the spark. Spark ready. Take it.
Oh, all three are down? Wow.
Runner out.
That lobster's
Push
like
forward.
mowing them down, man.
Runner approaching the rift. Your team ignited the rift. Your team has ignited the enemy rift.
Did we get him? No. That's a 2-0 real fast. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't understand what's going on or how we're winning. But I think our star player dude is whacking these people fast. Sounds like he's playing with something like Cold Heart or something along those lines.
Spark charging.
Yeah, Lobster.
The spark has arrived. Defend your runner. Your runner moving in. Your team ignited the rift. Enemy rift ignited. I've seen enough. I'm calling this one.
3-0. I almost got a kill, man. I couldn't pull it off. I think half my magazine missed him.
Remember, the spark isn't just an objective. It's a weapon.
Where's Lobster? You gotta give him credit. Or her, I don't know. Everything else is random. Yeah, nothing. Destroyer, 6 captures and 3 carries. Teammates revived, runner defended, runner stopped. So it doesn't have kills. It only cares about runners. Okay. Runners stopped, runners defended. Teammates revived. 6 captures and 3 carries. Wow. Maybe that was the MVP. So did anybody watch Aztec Cross's video on the monetization going on with Destiny? That was one of the things that I was always leery about with Destiny 2, like starting years ago. and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to return to a free-to-play account. Not because of really anything Aztec said. It's more because that's what I use this game for. I use this game like I did Diablo 3. It is a game that I can just get into and mindlessly sort of do whatever while I'm listening to news, podcasts, YouTube videos, music in the background, and just chilling, you know. And so for that, I don't need anything beyond free to play. I play a ton of Gambit. That don't cost nothing. Oh, that's a sniper rifle, isn't it? Details. Cloud Strike. Well, I know the name Cloud Strike. I've heard it before. I can't remember what it is, though. What kind of weapon it is or what it does. I think there's lightning strikes involved with it.
Spark charging.
Uh-oh. Whoa, I thought I had more cover than I did. I thought that this thing to the left was like a bulletproof glass or something.
Stop the enemy runner.
Oh, actually, it looks like it is.
Enemy runner near. Enemy runner ignited your rear.
So I'm not quite sure what I got hit by there. Oh, Lobster's on the... no, he's on my team. Okay, so they got the rift. I need 50 of these points, man. That's a long haul. My hope is that during the course of this awful grind I'm going to have to go through, maybe I will learn a thing or two about PvP, and then I can start invading on Gambit, because that's a huge... that seems to be the chief thing that determines whether... well, I wouldn't say invading as a whole is the chief thing that determines whether you win or lose Gambit. But if you have a good invader that's getting multiple kills, then... oh, I'm shooting the glass. Then that becomes the chief difference.
Stop the enemy runner. Enemy runner neutralized.
Dang it.
Runner active. Stop them.
And one of the things I've noticed is eye discipline. I've seen this in Gambit also. People who PvP in this game, they see targets all over the place and they see them really fast and they react to it very quickly. And I'm kind of terrible at that. Something that I think I'm starting to notice is these teams don't tend to be... I don't know if this is the right word to use. They don't appear to be very evenly matched. I see a lot of dominance. Oh, you're mine. Like I don't think I've been in a match where one team scored 1 and then the other team scored 1, so it's tied, you know, and then it's 2-2, and then finally somebody wins 3-2. I haven't seen that. I see a lot of 3-0, 3-1.
Enemy has the spark.
And then you throw cheating in on top of that.
minutes remaining.
Ooh.
Enemy runner advancing. Enemy runner ignited your rift. The enemy ignited your rift. I've seen enough.
Yeah, see, that happened right in front of me, and I shot at my ally instead of hitting the enemy. So, I don't know. I'm just not very good at this. And it's not something that I could see myself spending a lot of time in. Oh, do you have to actually win? Why does it only say 1 of 3? I've played 2 matches. Complete matches in any Crucible playlist. Achieve victory. Yeah, it just says complete matches. I've played 2. This happened to me the other day also. I had to play 4 matches to get credit for 3. What a pain in the neck. Alright, so we got Crucible Labs, work in process, and in progress. Competitive. So this is like the playlist, right? It's all of these. You got Iron Banner, Free for All Rumble. What's the difference between that and Mayhem? Abilities and supers regenerate faster. Heavy ammo spawns more frequently. Experimental work in progress Crucible experiences. Oh, okay. Pressure builds with each enemy felled. No one will be safe from the eruption. Earn streaks to generate score multipliers. Max out your streak to erupt. Okay. Yeah, so I guess one of the rumors I heard of in Aztec's video is that Bungie, well, this is not a rumor. Bungie is developing a PvP-based game called Marathon. But the rumor is that they are purposely not addressing problems with PvP in Destiny because they want you to leave Destiny for Marathon instead. Buy a new game, basically. So they're bringing all of the things that PvP players have been asking for years in Destiny, and they're not doing it for Destiny, but they're incorporating it into Marathon. And the idea being that they will then switch prioritization to Marathon, and less attention will be given to Destiny. Now, I think Datto disagrees with that. I was listening to his reaction video on that yesterday, but I was listening while I was playing, so it's like half listening. But we'll see where where it goes. For me, it's kind of a non-factor. I don't PvP anyway. Oh man, I'm not in it. Why am I not in? I didn't think that that would take me out of the... queue. Alright, so searching for Guardians. Maybe I just hit escape too many times. If I go in here and I just kind of mouse around like I did before... Yeah, I must have hit escape too many times. I do like this ship, though. It's just really morbid that the thing happened with Ocean Gate right about the same time. Come on. Wonder if it updated to 2. No. That's frustrating. So I might not get a title because that... Boy, man. That is one heck of a long grind. 50 points. Let's see what the status is for... I should have 6 points now. Oh, son of a bee. Yeah, see, I mean... What, and... This is the kind of stuff that turns me off of Destiny 2. I'm probably just not understanding what's going on here, but any way you slice it, this is a hell of a grind. And I'm not about it, man. That's for a title, and screw you. Yeah, I'm just that's a mystery to me. That I've played 2 matches. I'm getting credit for only 1, and I didn't get credit in the title progress for the one that I won, where we had 3 points.
The spark will ignite the rift, and your enemies will burn.
Maybe I need to look at it again. Maybe it says that I need to kill people, and I haven't had any kills.
Charging the spark.
See, there's no excuse for that. I don't know what I can do as a player to overcome not getting a kill there. I mean, is it my weapon or what? I had to jump on that dude, and he should have been dead. but I can't hold aim well enough.
They've stopped your spark, runner.
Uh-oh. I got punched.
Enemy runner.
Warlock melee. Okay, I got a kill, so we'll check stats afterwards and see if that's what did it.
Enemy runner is down. Your runner has the spark.
Man, where's he at?
Runner approaching the rift. They've defeated your spark, runner. Enemy has the spark.
Oh, he killed me with a Monte Carlo.
Enemy runner neutralized. Defend your runner. Runner down. Enemy has the spark.
See, that dude should have been dead days ago. He never saw me.
Ignited your rift. Too late. They got your rift. The enemy ignited your rift. Too late. They got your rift. Charging the spark. The spark has arrived.
Royd. That's funny.
Enemy runner active. Stop them. 5 minutes. Enemy runner near. Too late. They got your rift. The enemy ignited your rift.
Well, at least I'm getting kills. So it's 2-0 now, right?
Spark charging.
Because I went airborne, I couldn't throw my melee.
The spark has arrived. Enemy runner active. Stop them. Enemy runner neutralized. Your runner has the spark. They've stopped your spark, runner. Your runner has the spark. Runner approaching the rift. Your team ignited the rift. Enemy rift ignited.
All right.
Charging the spark. Minutes remaining. spark has arrived. Runner out. Push forward. Your runner is advancing.
Oh, my guy.
They've stopped your spark, runner.
Oh, they stopped us, huh?
Enemy has the spark. Enemy runner neutralized. Enemy runner active.
Uh-oh. This could be it.
Enemy runner stop. Your runner has the spark. They've defeated your spark runner. You have the spark.
Oh, I do?
Ignite the rift.
What am I supposed to do with this?
Enemy has the spark. Enemy runner is down. Runner out. Push forward.
I was trying to res a guy. Gosh. Yeah, that submachine gun doesn't hit hard enough.
Enemy rift ignited.
I don't like it. Holy smokes, we're in a tight... Oh, 2-2. And this is what I was talking about earlier, that I never see this.
Charging the spark.
I probably should have aimed down sights there.
30 seconds. Fight on. The spark is available.
So I never see people using glaives or anything, so I take it that just doesn't really work
Enemy
too
has the
well
spark.
in this.
Enemy runner approaching the rift. It's
Uh-oh.
all or nothing.
Oh.
They got your rift. The enemy ignited your rift.
We had some
You're
people
playing
quit
to your
out.
potential,
We had 2
Guardian.
people quit.
Don't give up.
I had 1 carry and 2 teammate revives. Okay. So if I go over here to quests and check. Okay, I'm at 8 of 50. What did that say? Oh, stop it, will you? Oh, my frickin' Lanta. All right, score points in Rift. Bonus progress is awarded for igniting the Rift. So I have to get on the scoreboard, I guess. It's not just win a Rift. Okay. And then if I go over here, I should be at 2 of 3. Yes. And I lost the match. Complete matches in any Crucible play. I just don't know why the other one didn't count. And like I said, it did the same exact thing to me the last time I tried this. So there's a mechanic going on here that I'm missing. Also, just to maybe spice things up, let's go with a different spec and bring in Quicksilver. Okay. See how that go. Oh, man. So I gotta join again? I don't know what I've done that caused me to drop Q. Oh, no. Okay, we filled up on the Q. Okay, good deal. I better look and make sure I know my spec. I'm using grapple hook. That might not be the best play here, but we're going to give it a shot. Into the fray and Drenger's Lash. Activate class ability to create a ripple. Suspending and damaging targets hit. Okay.
Capture the spark and take it to the rift. Charging the spark.
Oh, I defeat. Oh, it count because I got bullets into him. It counted.
Enemy has the spark.
So it counted as an assist. Siphon Red has departed the match. Somebody's using Sweet Sorrow. Oh.
Run her out. Push forward. They've defeated your spark runner.
Huh.
Stop the enemy runner.
Oh, of course. Whoa.
Minutes. Could go your way. Could go theirs. Enemy runner near.
I don't know. Like, I don't know where I'm getting hit from. It seems like they're everywhere. And whenever I look, I don't see anything.
spark is available.
Damn it. Really? I think I killed that dude.
Enemy has the spark.
Yeah, I have no sense of where the lines are at. So I don't know, are they in front of me? Are they behind me?
Enemy runner is down. Your enemy can't kill if they're dead.
Golly.
Enemy has the spark.
I don't know if that guy just didn't see me or what.
Enemy runner stop. Defend your runner. 3 minutes. You're evenly matched. Runner down. What can stop you if you fight together? Nothing. Enemy runner active. Stop them. Runner out. Push forward. Enemy rift ignited. Your team ignited the rift.
Okay, we got a point.
Spark charging. The spark has arrived.
And it took 3 shots to put that dude down.
Runner approaching the rift. Enemy rift ignited. Your team has ignited the enemy rift.
Nice.
One minute. You have this. Spark charging.
Ah,
The spark is available.
I was going for it.
Stop the enemy runner. "30 seconds stand between you and victory. Enemy
Wish-
runner stop.
We should win this.
Enemy has the spark.
Ah,
10 seconds. End them.
It's game.
Powerful use of the spark, Guardian. Keep it up.
Okay, so I got my 3 done because I got that Ingram. Fashion reward goes to you. Oh, I should have probably given it to you. You look good too. There we go. 2 runners stopped, 1 teammate revived. Okay. Return to orbit. Check on statuses of everything and confirm. Visit Shaxx to collect your reward. Okay, so I did get that stuff done. And I'm at 11 of 50 points. Okay. Open director. Let's go talk to Shaxx. And then that should wrap up the stream.
Your return honors me, Guardian.
What did I get? Syntheseps and Actium War Rig.
Time to fight, Guardian. What do you need? I know you'll use this well.
Autumn, Wind, and another Stars and Shadow. Frozen Orbit. What's lead from gold? I don't ever use sniper rifles. Picking up heavy ammo also grants ammo to this weapon.
What's going on?
Demolitionist, one quiet
Talk to me,
moment.
Guardian. I know you're busy, Guardian, but the Crucible needs veterans now more than ever.
Reload speed, okay. Maybe I'll keep that as a sniper. I'd rather go hammer forged rifling because I don't need stability. So I get a lot of range with it. Let's go.
But the Crucible needs veterans now more than
Magazine size is 3. I'm tempted to take that. Although aim assist is always kind of
damage reports are coming in across the system. My red jacks are
nice. Okay. Here's the Stars and Shadow. What is a sympathetic arsenal? Reloading after final blow also reloads stowed weapons. Okay. That's a fusion? No, a pulse rifle. Wait, that's an 1804. I'll use it to upgrade.
Talk to me, Guardian.
Autumn Wind. Another pulse rifle. I don't like that one. Okay, where's my dim? Drop these weapons into here. I need to get rid of some of these titles also. I'll do that right after stream. Okay, that's all of them. All right, guys. Well, we're done with the stream. Thanks for dropping by, and I will see you guys the next time I stream. I'm anticipating that to be next Tuesday. So, see you when I see you.